met with Brandon a bunch here since we started out camp, and I'm not going to get into any personal things between us.
Do you feel more hopeful that it can get done?
I feel the same as I talked to you guys last week. I mean, I am hopeful, and I do think it can. But like I said last week, everything's open, and but hopefully it does.
Kyle Shanahan, not much to add as it relates to Brandon Aiyuk. It got really loud last week. There were a lot of reports, a lot of leaks, a lot of strategic leaks, a lot of face-saving leaks. Hey, here's what we offered, but Aiyuk didn't want to come here. Hey, we wanted him, but he didn't want to come here. A lot of that was going on, a lot of leaking from the 49ers, maybe higher up than Shanahan and Lynch, to try to paint Brandon Aiyuk as the one who's being unreasonable here. But, Chris, this is just weird because it got loud, then it got quiet. They aren't ruling out the possibility of working out a long-term deal with Brandon Aiyuk. I still feel like it comes down to they get a long-term deal with him, or Pittsburgh feels like the only viable destination for a trade at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be interested too. You know, I keep thinking maybe the Commanders will get involved in it, right? Because of Adam Peters and Jaden Daniels knows, excuse me, Brandon Aiyuk and all of that as well, right? But it seems like Pittsburgh is the team you continue to hear about more than everybody else. And yeah, I mean, it's a weird situation. There's no doubt about that for the San Francisco 49ers, right? I mean, we talked about this when you and I did our little PFT PM last week a little, and just the fact that, hey, we think and what we know by all due accounts is Brandon Aiyuk was asking for a certain amount of money, and he saw what Amon-Ra St. Brown and A.J. Brown got, and all of a sudden he said, wait, I don't want that anymore. I want more. And that changed stuff. So ever since then, it's been, wait, they can't come to terms. They can't get on the right page. And, of course, this is a team that we know is in a Super Bowl window and has a bunch of crazy renegades to a point you've made before, right? We know that. And this is a thorn in their side. You got a guy who's he's walking around the facility trying to hold the team hostage for more money. It is a distraction. I don't care what you say. Let alone the team's going to go, wait, you wanted to be traded, and you know, the reports you're alluding to, it sounds like the Browns were willing to trade and they're going to give you a new contract. It sounds like the Patriots were going to give you all the money you wanted. Now you didn't want to go there either, but you don't want to play for us because we're not going to give you that much money. It's going to make the locker room weird there in San Francisco. That's what I look at. I mean, to me, by far, this is the more annoying, right, troubling, more of an issue than the Trent Williams thing for the 49ers right now, because it's just, we don't know where it's going to go. And of course he's there and hovering over the franchise, and it's a distraction.
Remember, a hold-in used to mean guy would embellish, exaggerate, fabricate an injury to justify not practicing or playing because he wasn't happy with his contract. Yeah. And the team would kind of know, but it's unseemly, it's awkward, it's hostile to say, you know you can play, get your ass out there and play. The hold-in, as we now more commonly use the term, relates to the guy who consciously and deliberately shows up so he's not fined. The team is usually okay with it because he's in the building, they know where he is, and they go along with him not practicing or preparing to play. In New England, they didn't go along with Matthew Judon trying to start a hold-in. And what's he going to do? You're in conduct detrimental to the team if you say, you tell me to practice and I'm just not going to practice. So the team has to say it's okay. So with Aiyuk, the 49ers have ostensibly said it's okay, but for the first time ever, Chris, and we've only been dealing with hold-ins in this sense for 5 years or so now, I don't think the 49ers are really okay with it. They really don't want him just kind of hanging around. They want him to be with the other psychos in a good way,
exactly,
rolling out of bed and running through a wall, and
right.
It undermines what you're trying to get the rest of your players to do, because they got new players there every year. You're trying to get them to be like George Kittle and Deebo Samuel, not like the guy who's standing over there watching practice and pissed off because he doesn't have his contract.
That's right. That's right. Let alone those guys that are out there on the field are going, wait, you wanted to be traded and you want a new contract, and like our team worked it out. Like, it sounds like you could have got that, but now you're going to hold our team hostage and hurt us from getting other players or picks later in the process. So yeah, there's an issue here. There's no doubt about it. I can't imagine Shanahan loves this and what's going on right now. He's got to be going crazy. I mean, that's the way he is. He's a psycho in a good way himself. So I understand that. So I don't know where this goes and when this is going to happen. I do know Pittsburgh needs another wide receiver. That's for sure. The other thing you come to here, though, a little bit, right, and you talk to other teams around the NFL and you talk to some people, the 49ers, though, I think are also trying to look and get a receiver as well if they get rid of Aiyuk. So that's the other part of this that's probably making it complicated, right? A lot of people you talk to, it sounds like there was a receiver in the Cleveland deal that was kind of pre-baked, maybe.
Amari Cooper.
Right. It sounds like it was Amari Cooper.
Reportedly.
Right. So you got that. So obviously, right, that's part of this as well. And that's where I came to the Commanders too, because I go, well, the Commanders have some receivers that could, reciprocate the trade, right? Yeah, or McLaurin, or Dotson, or whoever, somebody that could fill that void. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, yeah, they need the receiver, but there's nothing they can give back to the 49ers. And I think that's where that could be complicated as well. I'll be interested to see where this goes. Again, it's just like we talked about with Dallas. This is a really good player, not a part of a team, and a team having to deal with this distraction, and it can't be a good thing. It's not a good thing. We know that.
This is one of the risks of giving a player permission to go out and talk to other teams and try to set something up, because there's a chance he's going to focus on one team and work with that team to come up with a strategy that will get him to that team. So where you have the Browns offering Amari Cooper plus draft picks reportedly, I think that was leaked by the 49ers to make Aiyuk look unreasonable.
Right.
So good luck working out a deal with Aiyuk now when you've made him look bad by maybe even overstating what the Browns had offered. And then with the Patriots, there was talk of Kendrick Bourne coming back to San Francisco as part of that deal. With the Steelers, just sit back and say, because the Steelers reportedly aren't offering a player. Chris, I think what the 49ers are going to have to do, they're going to have to trade it to a team like the Steelers and do a separate trade where they pick up a receiver.
They might.
You're not going to get the guy in one transaction.
Sorry, caught me mid-drink there in my coffee.
Sorry.
But I would agree. I would agree with you there. That certainly could be part of the problem. And, hey, listen, I'm with you. It sounds like it came out of somebody there in San Francisco as far as all of this. But everybody knows. I mean, I know. I talked to enough people in football, right? I didn't need to hear Matt Maiocco out in San Francisco or anybody out there drop that. I mean, again, this is the other problem is when, you tell a receiver he can go out and find a trade, he starts to talk about all these teams and more ears and people and mouths get a hold of these things. And then people like me start to hear about it from people here and there and all of a sudden. So it's out there. Right? And it's not a good look from Brandon Aiyuk right now, and it's a tough situation for the 49ers. And I hear you, Mike. I don't know what they do there. They might have to just, maybe it is. Maybe it's trade him there, and then they have to figure out another team to get another receiver from there, because I can't imagine Shanahan. I know how psycho he is about wide receivers. Yeah, he's got Deebo Samuel. Yeah, he's got Kittle. Ricky Pearsall, obviously first-round pick. But, that offense is hard. They got a lot of rules and things you got to read on the run. It's hard for rookies. You don't see a ton of rookies go in the Shanahan offense and just explode because it's tough that way. And I got to think he'd be like, man, Ricky Pearsall starting against Sauce Gardner week 1. I don't know if I love my rookie going in that, with that and having to be accountable to that extent right off the bat. I'm sure he'd like somebody else with a little more seasoned and veteran type of player there to help him out. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with the 49ers.
But even then, how many times have we seen guys struggle with an effort to plug and play right away? You show up in mid-August.
That's tough.
And you've never played in this offense before.
Right.
And you're in a new city with new teammates, new coaches, new playbook, new terminology, new everything. Oh, and the first game's coming up in a few weeks on Monday Night Football against the New York Jets and Sauce Gardner and company. Good luck with that. So this is something they should have gotten resolved before camp opened. And the 49ers, I think, desperately want to have something that makes them better now if they move Brandon Aiyuk. And as we get closer and closer to week 1, 4 weeks away for their game Monday night against the Jets to start the season, it's looking like it's going to be harder and harder to have somebody there in place of Brandon Aiyuk who can get it done. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.